In this lesson, we are continuing our study from Saxon Investigation Number 2. Investigation Number 2 has two learning targets, units of length, which we discussed in a previous video, and the learning target for this video is perimeter. And I'm on page, as you can see right here, page 86 in your math book. So let's just begin at the beginning. The distance around a shape is called its perimeter. To find the perimeter of a shape, we add the lengths of all of its sides. So let's do some practice problems, and sometimes just practicing it will help us learn how to do it. Keisha ran the perimeter of the block. How far did Keisha run? Well, she ran the perimeter, so she ran 80 yards, and then she ran 40 yards. Here's 40. And then she ran another 80 yards right there. And finally, the last the last leg of the race, she ran 40 yards again. So to find the perimeter, we're going to add 80 plus 40 plus 80 plus 40. And there are multiple ways you could do this. Let me pick up my pen and bring that over here, and we'll just solve it right over here. Try to at least. So 80 plus 40 plus 80 plus 40. There are lots of ways you could solve this. You could just add up all the zeros there. That would be easy, of course, but then you have 8 plus 4 is 12, and 8 plus 4 is 12, and 12 plus 12 is 24. So you would put 240 yards. There are other ways you could solve that, of course. You could say, well, 80 and 80, I could double the number there, and 80 plus 80 is 160 yards. And then 40 and 40, that's 80 yards. So you could just do that kind of mental computation in your head, but you would still get 240 yards. Or you could say, well, 80 yards plus 40 yards, how much is that? Well, that's 120 yards. That's halfway. And then you could double it. You could multiply it by 2 if you know how to do that. And you could say, well, 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 0 is 0. So there are multiple ways that you could add these four numbers together. But you're going to add these four numbers together because there are four sides of this shape. And to find the perimeter, you have to add the lengths of all of its sides. So if it is a four-sided polygon like this rectangle, then you're going to have four sides to add together. In just a moment, we'll look at some other types of shapes. Look at number 18. It says, what is the perimeter of this square? Well, a square has four sides, so we have to add all four sides. And we know in a square that every side is the same length. So here they have a ruler, and you can see that it is 2 centimeters in length. That means this side is 2 centimeters, this side is 2 centimeters, this side is 2 centimeters, and this side is 2 centimeters. So you would add 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, or you could count by 2. You could say 2, 4, 6, 8, and the perimeter would be, oh, let me get on there, the perimeter would be 8 centimeters. Okay, let me scroll down a little bit here. Number 19. What is the perimeter of a square with sides that are 10 inches long? Well, remember a square has four sides, and if each side is 10 inches long, then you can just count by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, and you would say, well, the perimeter of a square with sides 10 inches long, that is 40 inches. just adding up all the sides. Now, what about if you want to find the perimeter of a triangle? A triangle has only 3 sides to it, but the process is still the same. We're going to add the lengths of the 3 sides we have. 3 centimeters plus 4 centimeters plus 5 centimeters. It's just an equation. 3 plus 4 plus 5 centimeters would equal the perimeter. So 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 5 is, that's right, 12. 12 centimeters. So it doesn't really matter how many sides you have, you still do the same operation, which is adding all the sides that you do have. Let's scroll down to problem 21. Here they're going to walk you through it step by step. What is the length of this rectangle? Well, it's 3 centimeters, but notice they've only labeled one side. That's okay, because this side and its opposite side are the same length. So you know if this is labeled 3 feet, 3 feet, then this must also be labeled 3 feet. They're equivalent. And then if, let me change colors, if this side is just 2 feet long, what is the width? Well, it's 2 feet. Then its opposite side is also 2 feet. And then you would simply add these 4 numbers together. And again, there are several ways you could do that. You could simply write 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2. So that's one way. 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2. And that's 5 and 5, that's 10 feet. Or you could say, well, 3 plus 2, that's 5, and then I could multiply that by 2 since there's 2 more sides, and that's also 10 feet. Now, here's some interesting questions to think about with regard to perimeter. It said, Farmer McDonald's cows graze in a grassy field surrounded by a wire fence. Which best represents the perimeter of the field? Is it the grassy field or the wire fence? Well, think about it. Here's my fence, and then on the inside, here's the grassy field. Which represents the perimeter? Is it the inside or is it the fence that goes all the way around? That's right, it's the fence that represents the perimeter. The wire fence represents the perimeter because it's on the outer edge surrounding the grassy field. Here's another similar question, number 23. A glass mirror on Amanda's wall is surrounded by a wooden frame. So here's her mirror, and then she's got this wooden frame all the way around it. Oops, got a little sloppy there with my pen. That's okay. I'm still cool. There it is. Which best represents the perimeter of the mirror? Is it the glass mirror on the inside, or is it the wooden frame on the outside? That's right, it's the wooden frame. It's the perimeter, the outer edge. The perimeter is like the frame. So that's how you measure the perimeter. Let me review once again with you. Go to the top. Let me grab it. Here we go. There. Remember the distance around a shape is its perimeter. And to find the perimeter of a shape, you add the lengths of all its sides. Do some practice problems like that and persevere until you've achieved your task of mastering perimeter. I'm sure you can do it.